Good morning, Amanda Kendall with Elevating Profits here. So I wanted to jump on today. There has been some news that has been put out from the Taxpayer Advocate Service, which is like a third-party division of the IRS. They're not necessarily with the IRS, but they are with the IRS. Anyways, as everybody knows, coronavirus has affected everything in our country nationwide. This includes the IRS operations. So the IRS was shut down for some time. They're finally starting to reopen all of their service centers and get people fully back to work. But what does this mean for us as taxpayers? So a lot of the notices that the IRS sends out are completely computer generated. So based on what's coming in, pardon me, sorry here. Based on what the IRS is receiving, the computer processes things and then spits out these notices that need to be mailed. Well, the computer, throughout the time of the IRS being shut down, has continued to spit out these notices. So we are now dealing with over 1.5 million notices. Some places say 20 million, some say over 1.5. So regardless, think about that. Think of 1.5 million pieces of mail sitting in your house. Like, holy freaking cow, guys. So the IRS is now getting to the point where they're getting ready to mail these out. And so what this means is that there's going to be a lot of notices coming out from the IRS that are going to have dates going back to April, May, maybe even late March potentially. And a lot of these notices are going to come out saying you have 30 days to respond, you have, 10 days to respond, you're going to be assessed penalties in this amount of time. Like, all of these things are going to start to come out, and all of these deadlines, for the most part, are going to be well past. However, the IRS has clearly stated it doesn't make sense for them to regenerate all these notices with new dates on them. So how do we handle this as taxpayers? What do you do? What are you looking for? So in these notices, the IRS is including some inserts with the notice. So if you or if someone you know gets some of these notices, please make sure that you read the insert, because the insert is going to give you a lot of information on this. So for example, if you're getting an initial balance due notice or notice and demand of time to pay, know that they are going to be putting in, it's a notice 1052A, and it's going to read, important, you have more time to make your payment. So you're going to want to read this insert and make sure that you understand what that means. So for returns that had a due date before April 1st, you have until July 10th to make payment without penalty or interest being assessed. So this is going to be, for some people, just looking at these due dates on the returns. It's not necessarily when you filed, but when the due date was. So if you had returns due after April 1st, those are now due with payment by July 15th. So you want to make sure that you're looking at this and you're reading these inserts and the numbers of what's going on here. So that's the 1052A on the notice of demand for payment. There's also going to be some notices go out. Several of these go out every year. And it's going to be a math error notice saying you made a math error on your tax return. This is what the IRS has calculated that we think you owe or that you're due, whatever the case may be. And they're going to process that. And normally with these math notice errors, you have 30 days to respond. So if this notice came out in April and we're now sitting late June, now you're in a situation where you're past that 30 days. What does that mean? Again, IRS is including in these notices, it's going to be a notice 1052B, like boy, and you want to read it to understand fully what's going on. But this is going to give you 60 days beyond from the mailing date. So not the date on the notice. So you have to be very careful, because a lot of people see this and they see 30 days or 60 days to respond or 10 days to respond, and they look at the notice date and they instantly go, they're going to go, oh man, like I'm past that date. So initially what I want you to do if you get a notice from the IRS is take a breath and look at the insert after you look at the notice, because it's going to give you more time. So specifically on the math errors notice, they're going to give you 60 days from the mailing date. So you want to take a look at that postmark date on the envelope as well when you're getting these. If you are dealing with IRS collections, if you have some balances due and you're looking, you're getting levy notices or something like that, you want to look, because normally they send out this final notice and you have 30 days to respond before they can start levy action. So again, if one of these went out in April or May and you're well past that 30-day window right now, take a breath, read the insert. Taxpayer Advocate Service is recommending to the IRS at this point that they give us 30 more days from the mail date, not the notice date, and they're working on creating an insert specifically for this notice as well. So each type of notice appears like it's going to come with its own specific insert. We're going to have 1095As, 1095B, or 1095s, sorry, 1052As, 1052Bs. Potentially, you know, there could be 1052 C's and D's if they get some of these other inserts put together quickly before they start sending these out. So make sure if you're getting an IRS notice, regardless of what it is, one, make sure you look at the post date on the envelope and you're addressing that fact first, beyond looking at just the notice date on the statement. Then also make sure that you're reading that insert, that 1052 insert, whatever it is, look at it. Breathe, know you have some more time. The IRS was affected just like every single one of us in our businesses during COVID. And so they're doing what they can to work with us, but you've got to address the insert in the notice. Don't instantly jump on the phone to call the IRS if you get one of these notices, because what I'm telling you, there's over 1 million of these going out. Imagine what that's going to do to their phone lines. So if you can read this insert, you can save yourself a whole lot of time and a whole lot of stress by reading the insert and understanding what you actually need to be doing and when your new deadline is and responding. If you don't understand the insert, reach out to your tax professional. They should be able to walk you through this. If you don't work with a tax professional and you need some assistance understanding these notices, by all means, feel free to reach out to my office. We can definitely assist you in understanding these notices as well. The last thing I want to touch on before we close out is tax deadline, normally April 15th, now moved to July 15th. We're just like right around 3 weeks out from that. So make sure that you're getting your taxes prepared. However, if you need to file an extension, you need to have that filed before July 15th. This does not give you 6 more months from July, so this is not extending it out through December for you to file. The extension due date is still October 15th, so it's only really granting you 3 months on that. So make sure that you're cognizant of those deadlines. To wrap it up, again, IRS is about to send out 1.5 million plus notices. Some of these are going to have dates going back to potentially late March all the way through current. Make sure you're looking at the 1052 insert in the notice to understand your updated deadlines on these. Again, Amanda Kendall with Elevating Profits. If you have any questions, feel free to drop a comment below. Feel free to reach out by private message. If you know somebody who can use this information because they're anticipating an IRS notice, please tag them below or share this out. I would greatly appreciate that. I want to make sure we get this message to as many people as possible. So everybody have a fabulous Wednesday and reach out if you have any questions.